Finally returning to the purview of the MCU's chief architect, Kevin Feige now has to prove that he knows Marvel's poster child as well as he should. Hey everybody, Alex here for Nerdy Inc. coming at you with a review of Spider-Man Homecoming. Directed by John Watts, starring Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, and an obligatory RDJ, Peter Parker finally settles into the Avengers-infested cinematic universe. If you've sought out a YouTube review, I'm sure you're familiar with Spider-Man's storied past of recasts and reboots. So the question on everybody's mind is, how does this iteration of the character stack up? Well, Spider-Man is pretty good. For a 2017 blockbuster, the film manages to keep things fairly simple for the majority of the film, only ever spiraling into a CGI nightmare towards the end. Our protagonist truly is a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and the New Yorkiness of the setting saturates the film in all the right ways. Whether he's swinging through Queens or holding the Staten Island ferry together, the native New Yorker is always fun to watch, but he's nothing to write home about. That being said, Peter Parker is pitch perfect. Growing up, I always loved Spider-Man because of his relatability. He's a kid with a lot on his plate, begging to be taken seriously and not treated like a kid. Peter often bites off more than he can chew, but perseveres through the pain of a lost childhood because he ultimately wants to do the right thing. Though the film never explicitly says with great power comes great responsibility, it's clear that Peter's morals are always supersede his personal desires, as unfortunate as that decision is to make. These are the actions that define Peter Parker, and the film reflects this beautifully. Hand in hand with this is Peter's inherent ability to make mistakes along the way. Botched attempts to help and a general sense of misunderstanding cement just how lovable Peter Parker is to the audience, even if the city can't see it. Iron Man's role as a mentor/support system is a smart one, explaining certain plot points and tying things into the story at large. That being said, I do have some concerns about Spider-Man becoming Iron Man Light. A talking suit opens the door for a new Jarvis, and although its use in the film is simply a replacement for internal monologue, it's no substitute for the homemade spider tools that make Peter such a clever hero. Every time the character goes back to basics, the film is better off for it. Opposite Spider-Man is the Vulture, played by Keaton. High marks must be given to the movie for making such an uncool character in the comics actually pretty neat in the movie. With a name that's actually thematically relevant to his crime world deals and a role in the plot that's more than meets the eye, Vulture actually holds his own against the classic comic book hero. Yes, the action does get more excessive with each and every encounter, but greater links to the character, as well as a clever use of lighting, gets you through the over-the-top action. No, it's not a perfect movie, and I ultimately still favor Spider-Man 2 as my personal favorite in the Spider-Man pantheon. But Homecoming does an excellent job justifying its existence and getting me excited for future films. A low bar that may seem, but in a summer full of endless sequels and movies based on emojis, that may actually be more of a useful metric than you may think. Movie studios have great power, so it's nice when a movie is made with great responsibility. And those are our thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming. Do you have thoughts of your own? Let us know in the comments down below, and as always, for more games, comics, movies, and more, keep right here on Nerdy Inc.